It's your boy, Big Cell, FHO's HNIC, Mr. MB everywhere.
What's going on, man? It's your boy, Big Cell, FHO, HNIC, and I'm back. Number FHO 10. Okay, got another inbox. Big Cell, our club is disbanding. The founders have made the decision to shut down the club. However, a few of the club brothers do not want to leave the club. What can we do? All right, real quick. The founders are the people who started the club. They are the ones who created the club. And 9 times out of 10, if they structured the club accordingly, then they per se own the club. Okay. You have some, and this subject can get real tricky because a lot of founders over abuse their power, or they think they got more power than what they really have, and they really don't. Now, however they structured the club, i.e. in writing, i.e. if they did a corporation, i.e. if they got stuff patented, the whole 9 yards, then yes, they do have that. So, for example, in this particular case, I don't want to read the whole text, but basically that's what it is. They're trying to shut down the club. They just tired or whatever, but you got a couple of members in the club that would love to keep it going. They're like, nah, we just gonna end it and be done with it. So, in this particular case, the founders have come together and say, hey man, we're gonna let this thing just ride on out. Cool, we had a good run, but we're time to let it go. They have gotten together, they have voted, and they decided that this is what they want to do. What powers do you have? I told you I got 2 more. I got two more after this. One or two more after this. What powers do you have? Actually, depending on how they structure their paperwork, you have no power. If the founders are the one who their name is on everything and they own the corporation and the whole 9 yards, then you basically at the mercy of them if they decide to shut it down and to disband it. Now, what you can do is ask them, say, okay, hey, once you shut it down, can we bring the name back and maybe restructure the patch? You feel what I'm saying? And if they're not some evil cats, they don't have a problem with that. They'll let you, restructure the patch or redesign the patch or do whatever and just, continue on with the name. But in all honesty, these are the type of things that you need to find out before you get into a club, and start investing all your effort, time, energy into a club. Is that, hey, what are you guys going to do? Or, what are the plans or what is the goals, 20 years, 30 years or whatever? And even though they may tell you forever and things change or whatever, it just is what it is. But whoever owns the paper, whoever holds the paperwork and whatever the paperwork says is who owns it. It's just like, for example, you may have bought a home. Okay, you financed the home and you got a 30-year mortgage. You may own the home, but the finance company owns the house until you pay for it and buy it from them. So maybe you can negotiate something with the founders and do whatever you want to do. But the founders, if they're still together, if they're still legit, and they want to see it go, then technically they can see it go. Like I said, at that point, it's a negotiation process between you and the founders, and find out what's going on. If it's something that they don't like or the direction or whatever it is that's going in that they don't like, then you find out how to deal with them on that and find out how to get that taken care of. But in all honesty, the founders actually do, if they hold the paper, if the paperwork is correct, because that's what you need to start checking into. Say, hey, okay, well, hey, do you own the paperwork? Whose name is on the articles of incorporation? Who holds the patent for the patch? Who owns the patent for the patch? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because you got to understand this, man. Everything has to have a paper trail. If you're starting a club and you don't get your paperwork in order and you don't get your paperwork together, that will be your downfall. I promise you. Not having your paperwork together, just getting out there, putting the club together based on word and friendship and some other stuff, it can be ugly. You feel what I'm saying? It can be ugly. I've seen situations where somebody else totally that wasn't even in the club owned the rights to the club logo and patch, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've seen that. So be careful with that and make sure you got all your ducks in a row. But talk to your founders. Find out who they are, what they want to be. What are the real goals? What are the achievements that they're trying to accomplish? Because, like I said, if they own it outright, there's nothing you guys can do. The whole club can vote against them, but you can't tell me to take my ball. I own the ball. It's my court. It's my basketball. I don't want to play no more, and I don't want y'all playing on my court. Get off my court. What you gonna do? It's his court. You got to get off his court. You got to give him back his ball. You can get mad and buck and do all this and do all that if you want to, and get yourself in a whole bunch of trouble and some other stuff like that. But I don't want to be a part of nothing that don't nobody want to be a part of themselves. So that's just me. But and I can understand the frustration that these people that these cats are having because they done got into this thing, and they may feel some type of way about it. But you should have did your homework. You should have did your research. Also, too, is you need to find out, really, before you join a club, how long y'all been around, will you, and just find out, like, listen, man, are you guys ever going to get tired? Would you guys ever see it going? Because it does happen, man. So, and all bull crap aside, it's a hard thing. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard thing to understand sometimes. Why they just won't give it to us? Maybe out of selfishness. Maybe out of the fact that they don't want, their brand tarnished or their name tarnished or their motorcycle club tarnished, and maybe they don't feel like you're strong enough to handle it. It could go on and on and on about reasons why. There may not even be a reason. It might just simply on some whole shit. I'm gone, so y'all got to get gone. I don't know, whatever it may be, man. People do all kind of ignorant ass stuff, and and it's just crazy. But other than that, man, that's it. The founders have voted for the club to be washed away. Then the club is washed away. They own everything. They own the logos. They own this. Only thing you do is let it wash away. Go back to them and say, hey, well, at least I'm gonna take the name or keep the name, restructure the name, and different things like that. Restructure the patch, and go on about your business. Or hey, walk away, join another club, and do what you got to do. All right. That's the best advice I got on this one. I don't have a whole 10 minutes to talk about this one because there's really nothing to talk about. Whoever owns it controls it. It's just that simple. They got the right to shut it down. They got the right to let it breathe. They got the right to kill it. It just is what it is. All right?
It's your boy, Big Cell, FHO's HNIC, Mr. MB Everywhere.
I'll be back for one more, y'all.